Come on, let's go.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. This is Crypto and Coffee with your trading bros. I'm your host, Clutch Crypto. B. Wellington again was very excited about the chart activity this morning.
What's going on, baby?
We did call it. We did a little bit of ranging yesterday, and folks, we're right back around where we were sitting at this time yesterday. So let's see what we got going on today, and maybe we'll get some moves one direction or the other. So let's see what we got.
So what I'll tell you is that I did notice earlier this morning, I've been up for a minute. I got shit in my eyes, just excuse all that, I've been up early. Man, we dropped to the downside a little bit earlier, which, when you see those drops prior to the close, and that they're going to come back up. So, it's very difficult to say what's going to happen, but I will say this. Whatever reaction that we get in the morning, like we're getting now, 828, we're at, kind of the low 30s, came back up. Generally it's going to change by the afternoon, especially with everything that's coming about. And so, trying to fake people into one momentum and then using the aspect of the news to extend that for a period of time and then reverse that has been the trend with these meetings. So let's not forget that. And not saying that that's what's going to happen. But let's just be wary of any early moves before the meeting or any moves directly after with a lot of, velocity could potentially be fake. But we're in the same situation that we see every month. Every time it tries to come back up and maybe move up to touch this 800 EMA, it doesn't get there. And so this one didn't even get past the 11, I believe that's what that is. The 11 EMA on the daily, and so here we are back in the same range. We haven't gone anywhere. If you look at this from this candle here, which is at that 2108, down to this candle here, which is that 1900, we haven't left this area. We haven't left this range, at all, within this candle. So we pretty much remained inside of that candle. We might have kind of had a little bit of a fake out here at the end. But we're still within that same candle that we were in, last week. And so, we need to break out from that eventually. Where we're at right now, we are kind of at the bottom of that range, kind of that, 18, getting to that 1800s, 1700s, or really 1895, 1900 is kind of the bottom of that. So we're kind of sitting on the bottom of that range anyway. I won't belabor the point, but, just be aware of that fact. Then we come back up here. I'm going to switch over to some other charts. I got some lines on there that I like to see. Same deal. Came up, tested the 200, came back up, tested the 200 again, and moving back down. And so this continues to be a downtrend, to the down, to the down, to the down. Normally down. Normally, what you want to see is some. If we are going to go up, you want to see some of this activity. We've got kind of this accumulation here. You want to see some of the activity to the upside, right? Since we've been going to the downside for so long, you want to see them, somewhat shake off some of those shorts, exhaust some of this liquidity up in this area. But we're still in this area where we've got these wicks to the downside all the way down to the 17, kind of the 1775 area, which is still an imbalance in the chart. We could get to a point where we flush down into this amount, and then as soon as we flush down to that amount, kind of continue back to the upside. It's kind of the way I envision things to go. Some trappy action, because I do think you've got a lot of people that are buying for it to move to the upside. You got a lot of people, because of the sentiment in the market, that believe market's going to come down anyway, and I think both are going to be ultimately tested and ultimately try to be trapped. So just be careful when you see those fast moves to the downside or to the upside. But right now, I would say that we do have some momentum to the upside just because we've been going down for so long.
So the short guy is still bullish.
The short guy is looking for a secondary retrace of this bearish momentum. You know what I'm saying? If you want me to get all
let's get all technical about it.
I'm looking for a secondary reaction. Bitcoin and all Ethereum, all these coins, they're a younger population, right? They haven't seen, they're praying for decoupling from the traditional stock market. And I think with spot acting the way that it is, and had a lot of consolidation, got a lot of long-term holders that are owning, that have control of that spot. And so the easy play is to move it to the upside, get guys emotional who think that crypto is going to the moon, that are playing the cycles, start moving that secondary reaction to say that we've come out of the bull market because we are come out of the bear market because we are at support. They're even starting to come out with, JP Morgan. I don't know if you looked at that, but JP Morgan is saying that Bitcoin is their preferred alternative asset now, right? So even some good news coming out on Bitcoin, which, what we say about good news, short good news, right?
Yeah.
So again, I expect some movement to the upside. I mean, it's early, 8:33, market's just open, so
They are creeping up there.
They are creeping up there. We kind of look at this often, but this is OI, this is finance. Spot is still everything's still kind of to the downside, but as you can see, the spot is starting to move up, right? Starting to kind of range up. While CVD on both the perpetual contracts are still moving to the downside pretty heavily, which just means that the market really hasn't engaged in this and has really been selling off for the most part. Funding rates, our sentiment check, right, looks positive pretty much across the board. People are either long or neutral in these positions. If we go to the traditional market, this is the headline that I was talking about. JP Morgan backs Bitcoin to rise 28% and says cryptocurrency are now its preferred asset. Isn't this the same Jamie Dimon that has been talking about how crypto? I mean, even a couple weeks ago, maybe even last week, he was talking about crypto has no value, that there's nothing, that
Hey man,
zero.
hey dude, this is basically his boss telling him that they need to fucking get on board with something because it's happening on a much larger scale.
Yeah, so
That's exactly what this is.
So JP Morgan backs Bitcoin now. So we've got early markets. It's somewhat flat. We don't have to see too much of anything, but we do see Ethereum coming up to the upside. The big news today, I think, are going to be the FOMC meetings minutes that come out. But durable goods, right? 0.4 versus an estimate of 0.7. Durable goods orders are orders that are expected to last over 3 years. So kind of capital equipment orders, things of that nature. So, we're still declining. The fact that it's, economists, I think they polled economists and the average came out to 0.7. So they were estimating an increase, but we have seen a decrease. This may be because of, they have to finance a lot of these durable good orders because they're larger orders. They last over 3 years, and therefore, with the increase in interest rate, this may be a cut to capital budgets already. This is also a proxy of poor capital equipment orders, a proxy for investment in manufacturing, things of that nature. We're at 1.1% down to 0.3%. I mean, can somebody tell me that the economy is not slowing down, right? Like, this is another indicator that would say economy's slowing down, which would, is right on board with what the Fed wants to do, which is to remain hawkish and remain diligent on shitting on inflation. So, if we look at Exo charts, just as kind of a last little bit, we'll give you some insight on how the magic happens here. We'll go 3 sessions. I like to get a good amount of data in there. And so if we look at it, this is from May 21st to May 25th. And so if we look at that, then we've got POC kind of where we're at right now. So we're right in line with the POC. So really, again, this could go anywhere. We got some shorts that increased this morning. This is on buy. Shorts that increased this morning, of course, some longs that then decreased. But we're kind of back to where we were prior to these ranging moves. So that's all I got. Relative to the market. Even though we're seeing some movement, man, market's just flat, movement to the upside, but it's everything's starting to move up except for gold.
That's good. Let's see what Bookmap and Highblock have to say about this. Can you see my screen?
Sir,
There's nothing on there.
it's coming.
Okay, here you go. Okay, all right. So this Highblock Capital. Let me do a refresh on this real quick because we've had a little bit of movement since I refreshed it a while ago, which is a cool thing. As you can see here, we're currently up here. This is actually still a few minutes behind. We're already up to 1984 on the way up. So we're about to take out this liquidity zone all the way up here to this 20. You want to pay 2020 areas where we want to pay real close attention to. That's about the peak that we got to last night that we didn't break. So if we break above that, consider us, moving up into between the 2020 range up to the 2087 range. Let's work in that area. Take out these long, short liquidations as long as probably ranging to fill this up. However, if we get stopped up here at the 1980, kind of where we're at right now, and then we see a rejection, be paying, because we do have some orders up there. We're at the top of our chart volume node. I'll show you that on Bookmap here in a minute. But if we reach the top of that and then we start coming down, the critical areas that we want to pay attention to are down here at the 1933 area. And if we break below that, consider some more movement to the downside. And at this point in time, we're still pretty much just about even on the liquidation. So there's no big delta or anything like that we're really seeing at this point in time. So that can definitely change depending on which direction we go. But as you saw, we did do a stop hunt, possibly on the upside a while ago to get some traps. And let's see what we have on Bookmap right now. Give us a second to pull up and get updated here. Okay, so come on. All right, here we go. Good. So as you can see, we took off. We started off down right about here, right when we opened the show. They spoofed some orders to the downside. We took up. Price is following it. Price is coming back into this 1970, 1965 area. There's a lot of orders down here that is probably wanting to feel. So pay attention to what happens when we get down in that area to see if we see a bounce and a continuation to the upside, or if they go ahead and pull these and then we start our way to the downside. So this is really right now anyone's ball game per se. So I think we're going to revisit down here in the 1970, 1965 area, and it's going to depend on what happens when we get there here. And I'm going to assume that we're probably going to be here fairly quickly too, because we're on our way down here right now. This there's a low node area with a bunch of orders, so this is 1965 is probably a good opportunity to probably look for a long, to be honest with you. So I anticipate that we're going to be heading more to the upside later today.
Very good. This looks pretty interesting. This is a stop hunt. Get into that VWAP. You got a lot of buying activity down in this in the lower part of this area, but I do still anticipate us to kind of bounce and move to the upside. This is some trappy movement, right?
Yeah, they're just doing a bunch of ranging. It's hard to trade when you're only moving $10-20 in a few moves, right?
Unless you throw 10 ingot and you leverage it about 50 times.
Yeah.
And you guess really well.
I might do 100x. I might do 100x today.
You feeling like a 100x kind of guy today?
Yeah, man, maybe so. Why not? Let's try it out.
YOLO, baby, YOLO.
All right, we're down in 1960 now, guys. the big area. Let's see if this gets spoofed away when we get down here. But that's all we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining the show. We always appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Until next time.